Welcome travelers, I'm Free2Play and I'm your guide for successful free-to-play adventure Nostera. Today will be the EX5 floor in the Scholar Training Tower. This can be a difficult fight if you don't know the weaknesses of the boss and how to arrange your team, so I'll help you with that. Let's go. Lucky me, I have analyzed all the weaknesses of the 5th floor not being EX, and there I knew exactly which weaknesses I have to tackle here, and that sometimes I have to attack him with Tome, otherwise he would counter-attack. So I made this team right here, where only Therese is wearing an Origin Tome because she has a very low HP. The others have these accessories here, which only boost the HP and the SP, because the boss is draining like 50% from the start, and this can be a hurdle, but it won't affect you with the scarves. The Hollow Hell Tomes should have something like Elemental Attack Plus 28, 24. This is very good, so you just keep it like this, or you use only the silver ones for those units you don't use generally in later fights. So Sophia is the only scholar we have who can equip a rainbow one, and I was very lucky here with Glacis Claudaire with the 13%, so this is a very nice Hell Tome here. But there's also one thing here when we're looking at souls, because there's one soul which could help us in this fight, and this is the Agonizing Iceproof soul, which increases the resistance to 4 to 6%, so the damage he does with 2 of his ice attacks will be reduced. If you have the chance, maybe you should do it to get less damage. Okay, let's get into the fight. As I said in the beginning, he will drain like 50% of the whole team's SP, and you should go for Elemental Collapse as soon as possible, and maybe with Noel and with Varkin, maybe in the first turn and at least in the second, so that he does not do as much damage. This is a very important thing here, because he can strike very hard. Now you can see the elemental counters are on, and so you only have to attack with a Tome all the way, or use attacks like Elemental Collapse to make his attacks less hard and your attacks even harder afterwards, when you can use the elemental ones when he's in break. So as you can see here, the last 2 attacks were the ice ones I just told you about, and if these ones were not as hard, you don't have a hard time anyway with this fight. So there are units which already have a dual slam or even a triple slam, like Molu or Odette, who have the triple one, which will help here too if you're low on BP or you want to spare them for these strong attacks. If you have Odette, you're very lucky here, because she can strike very hard, but I didn't use her for light because Varkin is a very strong unit, and I used him for the light part, so that I can switch between Odette and Elvis here, because Odette is for the first set of weaknesses and Elvis for the second, as you can see now, because Therese is doing a multi-hit lightning attack. As long as I can do it, I will do it, because now the counters are on again. And this is the preferred one if you have multi-hits, to use them, because they are a lot stronger than all your other attacks, apart from Therese, who can, in combination with Elvis, decrease the lightning resistance. If you use these in this round, you have a really good chance here, together with Sophia's Raging Ice Wind or with Varkin's Raging Luminescence. You have a really good time here because of all his debuffs. We're at turn 8 now, and we're at the second break, and the damage we're doing here is quite nice, and I have decided for going on the ultimate here with Elvis, because otherwise I don't have enough BP for a maxed attack here, so I just used this one instead. And what Elvis did in the last turn, I do with the others in this turn. Because when the resistance is so down, I should use this momentum here, because I didn't knew before what difficulties come with the new effects of this boss. And he was so well prepared here, so I wanted to use the momentum as good as possible here. Okay, now he's like at 40%, and he will go into the successive strike stance, and with that he can strike like 3 times in one turn. And this can be troubling, because these attacks are always the last in the turn, because you can't use Elvis in between to regenerate a bit of HP. So you want to make sure to get away as much shields as possible now, and therefore your ultimate should come now. This would be a better idea here, but as you can see, there are only dark attacks now coming which drain SP. So for the next time I would go into the battle here, you shouldn't go for a good momentum as I was in the last turns, but maybe spare your ultimate if your SP has run out and you run into other problems. But as you can see here, this team was quite good and did really good damage. Of course, Odette is still OP in my opinion, but Noelle is also doing a great job here with debuffing and with her wind attacks, and of course her wind ultimate, which decreases the wind resistance more. So as you can see above, he will strike 3 times in a row here, but he will only use the dark attacks. So if it strikes 3 times in a row on a single character, this can be really troubling. I was really happy that it only hit 2 times on Odette here, so I have to switch in the next round so that she doesn't run into any trouble. But as you can see here, we have 17 shields left and we only have 1 turn before he uses his ultimate. It is an ice attack too, and he will use more ice attacks afterwards. So as I said in the beginning, it would be a good thing here if you have the agonizing ice souls here. And I was really lucky that all my units have survived here. I don't know if it was RNG or he always hits different units until one is dead and then he goes for another one. I don't really know how this works, but I decided to break him now as soon as possible because I have a few BP left and I wanted to turn his lights off before he can do this again. Okay, and because I have the chain spell left, at this moment it is the best thing to activate exactly this skill because I hit 2 of the weaknesses which chain spell is doing, and this is just an amazing skill for this fight. So if you have any more questions about this fight, please write them in the comments or write in my Discord group. And if you'd like this channel to class up, I really appreciate a subscription and thumbs up. See you next time. You're free to play.